जा रहे हैं जो रिवर डे के उपलक्ष्य में है, इंटरनेशनल डे फॉर एक्शन फॉर रिवर्स। थैंक you very much for joining. We would like to welcome you all on behalf of Independent Research Ethics Society, AYUSH Samriddhi International Webinar Series, and the milestone is 2223, 2223. Today we are celebrating International Day of Action for Rivers, and our topic is Rivers Need of Action to Care. So, thank you very much, Dr. Suparna ji. Thank you very much, Dr. Sakat Basu ji. And I would like to communicate my sincere thanks to Dr. Suparna and Dr. Sakat for supporting us like up to extreme. And Dr. Suparna is kind enough.
Very good evening to the
provide us her video on the topic. So again, I am sharing her video.
Samriddhi platform, all the dignitaries over here on this AYUSH Samriddhi platform. The topic is very important right at this moment is because we have come across the Mahakumbh. So the river or the Tribeni Sangam where the Mahakumbh has happened. After the Kumbh or the situation, we have seen the total river area has been it is the dried out. Why this condition has happened and why it is the taking care of river is needed, and the action should take for this betterment and for strengthening the river. Basically, the 14th March of is celebrated as the River Action Day, and it was started in the Brazil in the 1977. Why we are practicing? Why the river action is needed for the protecting of this river? Because I am sitting in the station, railway station. I am starting my journey. Will start right at this moment. There are so many trains are coming, so it is a very situation is very uncomfortable. Still, I am just giving my speech on the important topic. For the maintenance and keeping river and river water with the purification of this water. The safe water, it is very important part of today's world because we know that groundwater level has deteriorating and it has reached so below that near future we cannot get any the tap water, the tube well may not be, we cannot get the water, especially the sweet water which is required for our drinking water. So use of eco-friendly cleaning products is very important for maintaining the river and to protect the river water and to protect the river and the baseline of the river, because we have seen in every cases that all the civilization which started the basin of the river. Hence, the river is very important part of our day-to-day life, and every economic situation, cultural rituals, rites, everything used to be happened, is to be practiced just beside of this river. That's why the river water is very important, and river is very important for us. Each and every river, the name of the river is significant for the socio-cultural aspect, and each and every river is very important for our our day-to-day life and the basic needs of our sustainability. And that's why the river is very important for our part of life. So reduce of plastics is to protect the river. Plastic reducing the uses of plastics is very important for protect the river. At the same time, the scientists, those who are getting information, the coursework is also very needed for the protection of river water, and the voluntary work is also needed for the betterment of the rivers, and the river should be maintained. The river basin should be maintained scientifically and properly, and the river action group has been started, and it should be worked properly. That's why we can protect, because Sweetwater, the Ganga, this the from the Mexican side, the Hilsa Elisa, which is coming to the Ganges side, the Ganges basin, and they come here for the breeding procedure. This breeding procedure by which they can breed and they can return back to the Mexico. So that's why this river basin is giving the sweetness of the water, and they have been attracted, and the breeding season needs to be started in the basin of the Ganga basin. So that's why the river action plan, river is very important for the part of our life, not only for the water but also for the social value, cultural value, economic value. All the civilizations were started since time immemorial just beside of this river, because river is our such type of mother. We can, O Shiva is like a mother, Ma Ganga, Ma Yamuna. These are the formation, but there is the formation of male and female too. The Brahmaputra, which has been considered as the Brahmaputra, not the river, Ajay, not the river. So naming procedure is also very important for the maintenance of the river and the river action situation. So that's why it is very important, and this all the medicinal plants and the AYUSH platform has been started. The medicinal plants is to be grown up in this basin of the river just because of the sweet water nature of the sweet water. And moreover, the Ganga water is very important, and Ganga water we also keep in our house for the every rituals, right? So use the Ganga water. Why it is? Because there is no bacteria is to be formed, because the flow of the
हावड़ा गंदेता एक्सप्रेस 2 नंबर प्लेटफॉर्म पे आ रही है।
that's why
13018 अजीमगंज हावड़ा गंदेता एक्सप्रेस 2 नंबर प्लेटफॉर्म पे
river
80।
is very important for our day-to-day life. So my train is coming, so I hope that the river action plan should be worked properly, and I should be has given me such an opportunity. I'm really thankful and grateful to the IRES platform. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Okay, thank you. Good night.
We are thankful to you. We are really grateful to you that in spite of your busy schedule, you have recorded this video on station. Excellent. Great. Now I would like to request Dr. Sakat Vasu.
I have a short 5 minutes documentary. I have already sent with madam. If you run it before, and then I will conclude my talking. Okay. It is in your WhatsApp.
Sure, sure.
It's a documentary on water. So, yeah. Thank
Give me
you.
2 minutes.
Yeah, take your time. No problem.
Water is an important natural resource and a finite resource that needs protection, conservation, and our reservoirs for the long-term benefit of humankind. Water can be a source of peace, conflict, as well as prosperity. Access to drinking water is a human right. There is an urgent need to work together to protect and conserve precious resource. Cooperation on water paves the way for cooperation on all shared challenges. We must use water as a tool to create a more peaceful and prosperous world for all. The water-related impacts of climate change are worsening, and a growing global population is placing increasing demand on this finite resource. Within many countries, people's access to safe drinking water is unevenly and unfairly distributed. Between countries, the widespread lack of trans-boundary cooperation on shared river water resources pose a risk to the quality and quantity of water supplies and therefore threatens social and international economic and geopolitical stability. The inability of the government to provide basic water services can lead to delegitimization of state institutions and ignite social interest from the perspective of food insecurity, high unemployment, and internal migration. Water can be a trigger when interests of different water users, including states and provinces, clash and are perceived as inconciliable, or when water quantity or quality decreases that may affect human and ecosystem health. Water can be a weapon during armed conflicts used by both state and non-state actors as a means to gain or maintain control over territory and populations, or as means to pressurize opponent groups. Water can be a serious casualty of conflict when water resources, water systems, or utility employees are intentional or accidental casualties or targets of violence. Attacks on civilian infrastructure, including water system, pose serious health and environmental risk and violate international humanitarian laws. Over time, there have been many more incidents of cooperation than conflict over water, but there is much more to do for all of us. We must act upon the realization that water is not only a resource to be used and competed over, but it's a human right intrinsic to every aspect of our life on this planet. At the local and national level, different water users, particularly water and sanitation utilities, energy, food and industry, must cooperate through an integrated water resource management approach and promote a circular economy that fulfills people's human rights. At the basic level, countries should develop agreements and set up institutions to peacefully manage water resources that cross international borders. Government should cooperate on transboundary water bilaterally, regionally, or globally, for example, through signing up to and implementing the United Nations Water Convention and Water Courses Convention. Working together on water across borders and sectors will accelerate progress across sustainable development goals, enhancing food security, sustaining healthy livelihoods and ecosystem, helping to build resilience to climate change and global warming, contributing to disaster risk reduction, providing renewable energy, supporting cities, towns, villages and our industry and agriculture for regional integration and peace. Last but not the least, it is significantly important to protect water for the conservation of biodiversity, forest, our natural resources, environment and ecosystem. Without water, life is indeed impeded on this planet, which is prizedly possessed by all of humanity as one of the greatest wonders of the entire solar system that supports and sustains life. Unless we take measures in our hand and work towards cooperation, coordination, communication and collaboration among nations and among citizens across boundaries and international borders, conflict with water can result in disastrous consequences. On the other hand, such cooperation and collaborations could bring about economic prosperity, because water is not only a source of maintaining the sustenance of our ecosystem, but it is also our economy builder through supply to our agriculture, industry, domestic and industrial uses, and also serving as a transportation method for our goods and oil and various other resources, as well as people from one region or one country to another, or from one continent to another.
Thank you, Dr. Thakur. Thank you
Thank
very
you. Thank you, Sharmaji. Thank you, Sharmaji. The reason I ran this documentary on water on the Day of River is the rivers are a vast source of these water. And by water, I mean, or riverine water, we are talking about freshwater resources. Unfortunately, this is happening around the world, but particularly for India, for being the world's largest populous country, this is very, very alarming that all our rivers from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and from Kutch to Kohima, I have visited most states in India for various purposes, taken pictures. I'm trying to develop another documentary on water that would demonstrate that all major rivers and semi-major secondary rivers in India are showing detrimental health disorder, which means that their flow has subsided. The amount of water in cubic centimeter that is passing through this has reduced considerably over the past 10 years. And the pressure on riverine water has been extraneous and humongous because of the increasing population. Last but not the least, all our municipalities and corporations that operate along the rivers, as well as various companies that use the water from the rivers and discharge their waste materials into the water, into the river bodies, into the nature without proper treatment under the broad observation of the central and state pollution control board, which are nothing but a money making organization where a part of them get money from these companies so that our officers are getting richer over the time and the rivers are getting thinner. How it happens? So if, for example, a company is flouting the rules of the pollution control board, whether it is central, and there is a date that the particular agency is going to raid that factory or that industry and going to audit the water and everything, few days before they will get a confidential call from that same agency by through some person saying that these people are coming on such and such date, so please take appropriate action and protection so that you do not get caught. So this poor auditing, poor monitoring and surveillance, and extremely poor observation by the ministries, whether at the state or the central level, extreme poor job of the river commissions that are working. The people who are involved are enjoying very fat salaries and big pension from the central and the state government, but the work they are doing is equivalent to what we get as our swamp water or our sewage water. It is equivalent to our sewage. They're doing nothing but collecting money. It may not impact their conscience, but the backbone of this nation is very seriously impacted day after day by not taking care of our rivers. Whether the huge flow of water from the glaciers melting and traveling inwards, and the river that is the huge rains that maintain the supply of this river water, indiscriminate damming, hydroelectric projects without proper planning and proper vision has impacted the river and flow. These are continuing. If you are traveling across Bihar, you are traveling in Jharkhand or in Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, all major rivers, you will see that in summer you can walk them across. This is not a good sign. It could happen in mountainous rivers when the water dries down during the summer. But this is happening across India, whether the river are even fed by the rainwater, that you can cross this river, and vast stretches of this river is sadly you would see sand upon land with very little stretch of water in between. This is a very, very, very bad news for India, for our future, for our security. The water, the way it's been evaporating from the surface, and no care has been taken by any of the state governments, including also the central government, and all the agencies associated involved with water maintenance are doing deplorable, appreciably, shamefully sad job that our rivers are vanishing at a fast rate. We will all pay a very, very hard debt for this. There is going to be time when, as you see in modern Bangalore, that people are crying out for water. Even when you are flushing your toilets, you are not getting enough water. All this riverine water is being misused. Our river beds are being plundered for sands under the auspicions of political parties and the support of administration. It is ravaging, disturbing, destroying, and monumental environmental pollution. So with this, I leave a very sad message for the country and the people. The way our rivers are moving, the way we are working, we are moving towards a water scarce nation in the next 20 to 30 years. A very, very dark time in spite of all the economic developments and other achievements that India has made. If the rivers die, our civilizations die, and we die too. Thank you very much. And once again, thank you very much for inviting me to this platform. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sagar. आप लोगों ने दिन बना दिया। आपको भी और सुपर्णा जी को भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आदरणीय सीपी शर्मा सर, लास्ट कमेंट ऑफ द डे कुछ देंगे? आदरणीय भाई जी सीपी शर्मा सर, लास्ट कमेंट ऑफ द वेबिनार।
I think बहुत
प्रणाम
रात हो
सर,
गया है,
प्रणाम सर।
Sharma ji. We have to call it tonight. Maybe he's not available. So wish you good night.
ओके, गुड नाइट।
Thank you. You are looking like a shining
गुड नाइट
penny,
सभी।
even at 11 p.m. at night. You are glazing like a shining penny fresh from the mint.
हाँ,
I do not know आपकी एनर्जी कहाँ से आता है। आयुर्वेद में कुछ भी खाते होंगे। You are looking so energetic, so fresh. We are all tired at the end of the day, and hats off to you for taking this forward. We are all proud of you. God bless you always.
थैंक यू।